ArcMap has lots of ways to get started quickly to make an effective, attractive, and fast map. For example, in this scenario, I'm a city employee who uses GIS when I need to make a map or do some simple analysis. In this case, I've been called in to work on the weekend after a local citizen has been reported missing after taking a hike in the adjacent national park. City officials are asking me for a map to show the area where the citizen was last known to be hiking. To get started, I would probably start up ArcView and get to work by adding in the data layers we have for our city. I'll begin by adding in some local data. Notice how I didn't use a layer file here, but the features I added from my file geodatabase came in symbolized fittingly to the theme of the data. This is because I have symbols in my active styles with the same names as my feature classes. When a symbol name matches a feature class name, that symbol is automatically used when the feature class is added to the map. But we can also use layer files that can set up our label properties and other layer settings more efficiently for times like this. Layer files make it easy to use standards when we are in a rush or anytime we want to create a map. I have a problem now. The mayor comes in and wants to see the location of federal parks and adjacent lands. This affects who needs to be notified in the search efforts for our hiker. There are quite a few areas nearby that are owned or managed by different federal agencies, reservations, and military bases, and I have no idea where to find this data quickly. Searching multiple places online will take time I don't have. Also, rescuers will want to see more information about the local terrain since we have rocky canyons, mountains, and valleys in the region. So where can I go? Let's take a look at the resource centers, and more specifically, ArcGIS Online. A little earlier, we saw some of the layers available through the resource centers. But sidetracking a bit, the resource centers are more than just a place to find data to add to maps. There are many types of ArcGIS users, from desktop to server, from beginning to advanced, and lots of types in between. Whoever you are, the resource centers are a new starting point for finding lots of information to help you get your job done. The idea is these resource centers for each product will be a one-stop shop for help, resources, and information. For example, quick access to the online help information. Or useful links for developers, whether they're just starting to learn how to customize ArcGIS or are more advanced. There's access to the ESRI Support Center, and there are also links to the other resource centers. We'll see a little of the ArcGIS server site later this afternoon, and there are some special sites. Did you know about the Geoprocessing Resource Center? It's a great place to find models and scripts and a wealth of resources, blogs, and content related to scripting and analysis. There's another site that might be of interest to the ArcMap users in the audience. The Mapping Center includes tips for different cartographic techniques and, more importantly, the steps and how-tos to accomplish them through the blog and posts on the site. The resource centers, though, are a great place to link into content such as maps, layers, and globes, which are being served by ArcGIS Online. We can see a lot of the services that are available for ArcGIS users to use for free in their own maps, such as weather services, geology, and demographic information. So my task is to find some data that the mayor wants in his map. And here we have access to a U.S. federal lands layer. If you want, you can click to get some metadata about these maps and layers being provided by ArcGIS Online too. Next, I need some terrain data. One of my favorite ArcGIS Online services is the U.S. Topo Map Service. Gone are the days of searching for those 1 to 24,000 quad maps and figuring out how to clip their collars so they appear as a seamless raster layer. These topo maps are very popular with emergency management and law enforcement personnel. Many people rely on them for the names of cities, canyons, and other physical features. With 2 clicks, I added the entire U.S. seamless topo map to my existing map. These two layers I just added are actually map services being served by ArcGIS Server. I can still interact with them. For example, I could use the Identify tool, and I can do things like set transparency. To quickly add some information to the map, instead of editing, I'm just going to use the tablet tools to put an area around the search area for the hiker. And also I'll put an X where the hiker was last seen. Now I'm ready to print the map. However, someone came in and said, "Hey, we need a wall plot of this for a briefing, quick." Well, I can use template files to help me save time in a situation like this. Loading pre-built templates can save time by adding elements like logos, north arrows, legends, and scales, as well as setting up the page size and settings for a particular printer faster. Now I can print, or as we saw earlier, perhaps share this map out by publishing it to ArcReader desktops or PDF, which we'll see later today when we discuss other ways to disseminate the maps that are made by the ArcGIS desktop user.